Hello, welcome to goingboldmedia.com, that WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. This is where we go bold with all the experts. And today we have this great show. I absolutely love it. I hope you guys love it too. It's a link to expert Goodreads Authors Corner. I am one of your hosts, Cece Schatz. I'm the doyenne of relationship building. And I have my good friend here, Joanne Weiland, with me. Joanne, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you, Cece. It's wonderful being here and sharing all these different insights from our guests and everything with all these people that are interested in their books and their backgrounds. So today we have a double treat. We have both an interesting guest as well as an interesting book, and actually a couple books to cover in the next few minutes. And so we're glad you joined us. My name is Joanne Weiland. Why Land When You Can Fly. I'm with Link to Expert. I'm the creator of it, and I did it just so that it's make it easy to find an expert or be found as an expert in minutes. So welcome, everyone.
Well, tell us a little bit about our guest here today and our topic that we're going to cover.
Well, Celeste is, I actually just was introduced to her about a month ago from a virtual assistant that I had before she did. And Celeste Solum, we're so glad you're here, because when I reconnected with Cindy and she just raved about you, I said, well, we have got to get to know this woman, Cece, and I would love to, learn more about her and maybe have her on our show. And poof, here she is in January. So we are so glad that you're here. She's in North Dakota right now, 10 degrees weather. So anyway, but we're really grateful that you're here. And I just want to welcome you. So Celeste, welcome.
Well, I'm very thankful to be here, and Happy New Year to all the viewers out there.
Thank you. And I just feel like your background is so vast. I don't really always know where to start, but I thought maybe we could start from, how old were you when you even recognized that you had these special gifts that we're going to be talking about?
So pretty much I was 5 years old, and two things happened that year. One, I became a Christian. My family was Jewish, or is Jewish. And then also my dad was in naval warfare, and he sat me on his lap and he said that the next genocide would happen on my watch and to be ready. And so all during my whole life, I gathered skill sets to prepare me. And since I had my house in order, I could help prepare all of you.
Oh, well, that's wonderful, especially at the age of 5. And it's so cool that your father was so insightful to recognize this, to prepare you. And that's why I believe, we know you were here for a time like this. And I really do believe that's so important for somebody with insights and future trends and knowing what's might happen to put the word out. And I feel like you have done that in so many ways. When I googled you, there was just hundreds and hundreds of information about Celeste Solum. So I really do appreciate you doing everything possible to share. But I was wondering, was your father also the one that kind of nurtured that in you to be what you are today, which is a spokesperson in so many different areas, but today we'll mainly be talking about nutrition. But I just was wondering, was your father the one that incited that in you to be able to share this type of information?
So absolutely. So my dad took newly declassified military information and he would translate it into the layman's language so that it could go out to newspapers and that people could understand the technology that had been just declassified. And so in a way, I did follow in my father's footsteps. And because I take very technical information and I try and break it down to its physical application in your life, why should you even care? And more importantly, your spiritual application. No matter what spiritual worldview you have, you do have a spiritual essence. And to me, I try and incorporate that in all of my news and my books.
That's fascinating. And with the declassified information, Where was he? Did he get access to it at that time?
Well, he worked for naval warfare. So the
Oh,
Navy, yeah, yeah.
where were you stationed? Or where was he?
He was stationed at Point Loma in San Diego.
San Diego. Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
I love
San Diego.
Mission Bay out there. It's beautiful.
Yeah. It was wonderful. We grew up on the beach in Del Mar and I
Did
loved it,
you?
Yeah, I was
Oh,
a surfer girl. I really was. I had my own surfboard and it was a big 9-footer at first. And then I spent my whole summer babysitting 4 children. And I got my first 6-foot fiberglass board with a see-through fin. And I thought I was quite the hot dogger on that board and lots of stories that I could tell about that.
oh, that's in Delray. That is gorgeous. I love it out there. Did you used to go to Old Town to eat ever down in?
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know because this was long ago that the mission up in San Diego above like Old Town used to have a albino deer for years and years and years. And that deer was so friendly. And of course, we got around everywhere. We'd go to La Jolla, we go everywhere. We used to take Sunday drives. That's back when people did the whole family got in the car and went for a Sunday drive. And we went from San Diego over to Miramar, where a lot of Air Force is. And
Yes.
at that time, it was just sagebrush. But if you went at sunset, there were millions and millions of bunnies. And so we nicknamed it Bunny Heaven. So
Oh,
yeah, it was beautiful.
Interesting.
We loved it. Of course, now it's a sea of houses. Last time I visited, it was like, oh, Bunny Heaven's gone. But my family was instrumental. Have you heard of Torrey Pines Park?
no.
No, I haven't.
So that's in San Diego. So there was a park that was established early on, maybe the 30s or something. But uh, development was encroaching in the area that I lived. We lived in a little artist town outside the park. And so my family was instrumental in preserving the rest of the Torrey Pines because they're only found that place and no other place on planet Earth. And so we're successful and it is a park now. And the developers couldn't run it over like they wanted to do. So
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
especially
sometimes
with all the bunnies. Go ahead, Cece. I'm sorry.
it's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy when progress. We think it's progress, and then we realize that we're actually hurting ourselves with progress.
yeah.
Well, we're grateful your family did that because too, what I think of when there's rabbits and bunnies, whatever you want to call it, that signifies prosperity and also that, people can thrive there and evolve because I really feel like, each animal has a different meaning, so to speak. And that's really cool that there was filled with bunnies right there. I mean, because it seems like it would be, close enough to what I would call, the hustle and bustle of the world that they congregated there. That's really amazing.
Well, tell us a little bit how you got into the food and supplement area.
Okay, so one of those skill sets that I went into is I first went into nursing and I didn't finish because I had a daughter with a lot of major birth defects. And so I didn't want to do it 24/7. So then I did a stint in dentistry and then I went and worked for a doctor in environmental medicine. And I tell you, he was my mentor. He taught me that there's other modalities other than allopathic medicine. And what's allopathic medicine? That is the Western medicine treatment, give you a pill, surgery, that kind of stuff. That there's other things that you can do. And so his first line of treating patients was always a healthy diet, maybe changing a patient's diet, and then also supplements. So in a way, I'd like to kind of give a dedication of this broadcast to Dr. Philip Ranheim, who did die of COVID. And so I just would like to dedicate, because he worked for decades in this, treating people alternatively. And so that's how I got the interest. And then he started consulting with me because he was actively seeing patients all the time. And I took the ball and ran with it and said, okay, I did experimentation on myself. I actually treated breast cancer naturally and with something that you can get. And in 10 days, the cancer was gone. And I did it in the privacy and the comfort of my own home. Yeah, it's a little, miserable. And I have a tiny little scar, but you know what? I didn't have to go through what millions and millions of people. And there is an external version of this and an internal version, but we can't go into it because so, the pharmaceutical companies wouldn't like us very much. So we won't talk about that right now. So,
but that's really fascinating about the dentist. I mean, because would he be able to tell if people, weren't healthy by their gums, their teeth, or is that how he did?
So your microbiome actually starts in your mouth.
Really?
And so they can see, depending at, like, if they did like a little swab, they can tell by the bacteria that are in it inhabiting, are you healthy or are you not? And a lot of people don't realize that if you let your teeth go, you can, one of the first things is cardiac problems. You can have problems with your health, your heart. So it is very important to take care of your teeth, and it will go. I mean, it goes throughout your body. But the book that I wrote was actually because we are actually in the 6th extinction level event on planet Earth. We've just started it. It started in 2020. And the last one, the 5th one, 90% of all life on planet Earth was killed. And so that's a startling thing. So I started to research and why. But let's not be fearful. Out of that, I want to give the caveat, and then we'll get into it. Out of that, you're here, I'm here, the animals are here, the plants are here. So it doesn't, it's not the end of the world. It was a new start, a reboot, a refresh, if you will.
And how long does that process last? You said it started.
Scientists differ on that, but they say right now we are at the flexure point. There's a 26,000 year processional in the sky with all the constellations. It takes it's 25,000 plus years to go around in a full circle to see all of the constellations. And there's several things that happened then and several things that happen now. There was something, the magnetosphere, which is our barrier that protects us from cosmic rays, diminished, and that let all these cosmic rays come in, and cosmic rays are radiation. And so that's what I started getting interested in. We all know about what happens if there's a nuclear blast, God forbid, or a leakage like 3 Mile Island or something like that.
Or Japan,
Yeah. So, I want to actually show you something since you mentioned Fukushima. So this is actually in the book. Now, I am a soap maker. I make my own beauty products and health products. And I would make them with natural things. So I'm not very good at showing this, but you can see this soap. This soap was like an olive green. And this picture was taken 1 month after Fukushima. And what happened was, it was actually kind of embarrassing. I had an appointment with a manager of a health food store. And of course, she wanted to see my peppermint. And that peppermint soap was, what I used for color was chlorophyll. It's what makes leaves green. And so she pulls it out, and I'm at the store, and I don't know, this is like 1 month after. I have it all stages. Like, I have them on curing racks. I have them in packaging, and I had them in the little tubs for presentation if I was going to do a presentation. And so I get out the peppermint, and it's like pumpkin orange, as you could see. And I was horrified. So I thought, oh my God, what happened? So I went home. I couldn't wait to get home. And I kid you not, every single soap, whether it was packaged, whether it was in a container, whether it was out curing, no matter what soap, if it was made with the chlorophyll, they all turned pumpkin orange. And the only difference is that radiation that came upon us. Now, I was at 6,000 feet on a mountain, which means you will get more radiation at that level than you would at sea level. But I began to understand the severity. If it does that to soap, what's it doing to my body? And another thing I think it's really important for the viewers to know is, do you know that I would bet that almost every single one of you has radiation in your home? Do you know where that is?
No, but before you go into that, I was just curious, were you living in Japan at the time?
No, I was living in Montana.
Oh, but this was here where the soap turned. I thought it was in Japan.
Yeah. No, it was after the
Oh, but in Montana, even that.
Everybody, or it went around, that radiation went around the world. It was not only in the ocean, it was in the air. Just like,
Interesting.
yeah, because the sea aerosolizes things and it carries the drops over, and that's how we get our rain. So that's what happened.
Right.
So in your home, I say microwave because my mother used to always say, don't use a microwave because of radiation. I have no idea if that's correct.
That's true. It changes the structure. It actually changes the structure of anything, that it makes it dead. Even water, it will change the structure of water to make it so that it is not healthy for you. But I'm curious, do you know what thing you have in your home that gives you radiation?
Is it what Cece said, the microwave?
I said the microwave, but probably just air.
No. It's your fire detector. Smoke detector has two types of radioactive isotopes in it, americanium and californium. And they're both in every single smoke detector. So you are constantly, not only do you have the cosmic rays, and you might get something like Fukushima, because that stuff is still going around,
Sure.
And we don't know. And then we've got the cosmic rays coming from space. So really, we are getting bombarded. But you know what the wonderful thing is that I dug into my research and found that there are radioprotective barriers that God has made in food and supplements, no matter what diet you're on. And that's what I put in this book. It's very user-friendly. I tried to get a representative of every single diet. Of course, it's not comprehensive where I could put every single thing that's food in the world. And then also supplements are radioprotective. And if perchance you have some, you love a food and you want to know if it protects you from radiation, then you can just type in your favorite search engine, your favorite food. Let's say it's lentils. And you type in lentils and you type in the word radioprotective. And it will tell you if lentils have radioprotective properties. And if you dig a little bit deeper, which I did do in this book, I tell you, should you take this before there's trouble, before you're exposed to radiation? Can you take it during a radioactive event like cosmic rays? We've been getting tons of solar storms. All that radiation is coming at us as well as the cosmic rays. And then also, is there anything you can do to boost up your system after the event? Can you take it afterwards? And so I tell you that if I could find that out. So there's some very interesting things that I think y'all all be very fascinated to learn. So NASA sends those astronauts into space. What is their number one go-to to keep those astronauts safe from radiation? Anybody venture a guess?
Well, let's think on that and come back and you can tell
Yeah,
us
that's
after
a
the
good-
break,
that's a good
because I'd
segue.
love to see if anybody guessed it, but let's think about it for a minute.
Right. So put a comment right in our, right in our show here, and let us know what you think it is. So that would be nice that we come back and we have some comments. So we love that. You guys are listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. This is a goingboldmedia.com, and we are on the link to expert Goodreads with our wonderful author here, Celeste. And we hope that you guys will stick around. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm John Thomas. I want to share with you a professional products and services directory we call Going Solo Directory. And you need to check this out. If you want exposure to your business or are seeking professional product or services, this directory has it all. And that membership, for the many special features, you get the benefit of a worldwide exposure with a 40-minute video interview on an international business show showcase. All this for just one low annual fee. For more information, contact goingsolodirectory.com.
Welcome back. You guys are listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, and we are so pleased to have you with us here today. We are on the Link to Expert Goodreads Author's Corner. I am one of your hosts, Cece Schatz, and I have my good friend Joanne Weiland here with me. We're talking about food and supplements that protect you from radiation with our wonderful author here, Celeste Solum. And show us your book, because we want to make sure that everyone sees your book. Now you can go to Amazon. Of course, you can check out her website. Right there it is. You can go to ShepherdsHeart.life or celestialreport.com and then send her an email at Celeste, that's CELESTE at celestialreport.com. That's CELESTIALREPORT.com. So we are so pleased to have you here with us. You know, it's very interesting things that you're saying. And before we took our break, and I'm sorry we cut our break short because I was having some problems on my end. So technology, sometimes it can be our friend and sometimes it can be mad at us, I guess. So we cut that a little short. So I hope you guys will bear with us here. But we are talking about food and supplements that protect you from radiation. So when we were talking about the first part of the show, if you guys didn't hear it, you got to come back and listen to the rebroadcast because it's well worth listening. But we were also talking about like radiation in your home. Then what we were talking about, like when they go up in space, what do they use to protect the aircraft, I guess, or the astronauts from radiation? We're supposed to put in our comments. Anyone listening didn't do that. So I'm going to guess they're spacesuits.
Okay,
I'm
going
I'm going to guess Tang. You remember they started Tang to drink? Did that help protect them?
No.
No.
So basically, their number one go-to is dried prunes.
Oh my
Dried
gosh.
fruit, really?
Dried prunes are
wow.
extremely effective against preventing radiation, any type of radiation, cosmic rays, nuclear attack or leak or whatever, and even the radiation in your homes. And okay, so then so my mom gave me this 3-part cookbook with all this weird anecdotal information about. It's really a wonderful cookbook. It's called the something Bill's Buffalo Bill or something cookbook. Anyway, it's a wonderful set of 3. But it caught my attention because I think she gave it to me in the 1960s. And it said that the scientists and researchers in Japan, because we're talking about Japan, when they dropped the bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the people that were the Japanese people that were consuming red pepper did not absorb the radiation like the other people did. Now, it doesn't have to be hot pepper. Let's say you can't stand cayenne. My go-to is cayenne because I like to be spicy. But but there are people that cannot take that. And so it's the red pepper. You could have a red bell pepper, and there are other sweet peppers like sweet Hungarian paprika, that type of thing. So you're getting the red pepper, you're getting it into your system, it's protecting you against radiation, and there you go.
That's fascinating.
Yeah,
I do love red peppers, actually the most out of any of the colors of pepper. So your mom was into this before it was cool.
Well, she came from an day and age when housewives made things from scratch. So she was just giving me, it's an all-round cookbook. It's got recipes from the White House and all sorts of trivia. But that caught my eye because, of course, I was working my way through into nursing and that type of thing. So I always had that predisposition, and I love to help people, and I really care. So anyway, it caught my eye, and it really made a difference when I was doing the cookbook now, or this book.
Show us your cookbook.
Now also, and then I do really nice pictures, like from my garden. So I like to grow things from scratch. I had goats and chickens. This one is my homemade cottage cheese, the picture that you just saw. And so I'll tell you about all the different spices and cherries and different. Oh, I'm terrible about this.
No, you're doing good. It's
my fingers more than anything else.
So your mom wasn't an organic farmer like you are.
Well, back in the day, everything was organic. Now we live in a day where that's not the case.
Right, because the ground was much more.
Yeah, and even buying organic, you wonder, are you really getting organic? So yeah, I totally get it.
But Celeste, I heard one time that you actually even grow flowers, organic flowers for the honey, right?
Yes, and also for medicine. And actually, what you can do with your flowers, now you have to make sure that these are edible. So your peonies, your roses, your calendula, even dandelions, you can take the petals off of them. I love peony, and you put it in your fresh local honey and you infuse it. You just lilacs. Oh, during lilac season, you just take that big frond of lilacs that's so aromatic, and you dip it in, and you just keep it in there, and then just use it on. You can put it on your toast. You can put it into recipes. I love to make popovers because they have those little secret holes that are just nice to put your honey infused with different flowers that you grew in your garden. The only caveat is if you're spraying, like if you're using some pesticide or herbicide, then don't use them. Right. I don't use any of that. I use only natural. I use things like diatomaceous earth or something like that. So I know that what is in my garden is safe.
So now will it change color? Like if you put the flower in there, will it change color?
It makes it a rich amber color, but you can see it for a while. It will, like the lilacs will be purple or pink.
Yeah, I think that's kind of nice, isn't it?
Oh, but the smell. Oh, and even if you put it in a cup of tea with a teaspoon, it is just so delightful. Absolutely delightful.
Something new. I had something new there I haven't heard of. So yeah, awesome.
Of course, I now you would have to look up which flower you're putting in, and so let's see if I don't know. Do I have honey in here? Let's find out if honey. Do I have an index in here? It's been a long time since I've looked at this because it's.
So I'm going to put up the name of your book right here so everyone can get it.
Okay, hold on. 115. Okay.
Radiation Protection Solutions is the name of the book.
Yeah.
Electromagnetic Radiation Protection Solutions, which you can get on Amazon, Walmart,
Yeah.
Barnes and Nobles, all different places too.
Any
So
place.
honey is radio protective. So
Is it?
you are bathing yourself with barriers to prevent radiation damage. And so what kind of damage? I mean, you can get skin damage.
Mhm.
You can have trouble with your skin. You can have heart problems. It can affect you. You can have insomnia from radiation. There are so many. It'll affect our hormones. It will affect your microbiome, your ability to digest food correctly. So it is good to have these barriers in place. And as with, nature, you can layer it on, and you can't overdose on these different things. Now, I mean, your body's going to say, okay, I've had enough carrots right now. Thank you very much. But you're not going to overdose on it, and it's not going to be toxic to you.
Well, I'm curious with the honey, many people say that you should also eat the honey that's local to
Yes.
where you live. Is that the case with this as well?
Absolutely, because it's local and it will help your immune system to fight bugs that are local. And we're really kicking ourselves a little bit when we buy honey from China. One, it's adulterated. Two, they water it down. We're paying more for less, and there might be chemicals in it. When we buy from our local farmers, our immune system knows, and it says, I'm happy. And you really know that when you're out in your garden. When I lived in Montana, I would have like 70 different types of pollinators. I had everything from bumblebees to little honeybees to this thing that it's a bee, but it's called a hummingbird, hummingbird moth, but it looks just like a hummingbird. And I would have about 70 different pollinators, different colors, dragonflies, butterflies, and they were happy because you see these things also emit good frequency. And think about, you have someone that you love and is full of energy and vibrant, and you want to be near them. They're giving out that good energy. And that's what these healthy foods do. And then there's that person that is like, you are with them for 5 minutes and you just feel drained. You're like, oh no, I can't do it, and you go, stay away, please. And that's what many of the agricultural products are these days. People are not paying attention that it really is important that we kind of go back to the Garden of Eden as far as agriculture goes. They want to try all these new and improved things, but new and improved isn't always good.
Right. Well, I tell you, we've learned a lot here today and about radiation, about being aware that our smoke detectors give off radiation. Didn't even realize that, and yeah, so we've learned a great deal here today. So those of you that want to get her book, which we would highly recommend that, Electromagnet Radiation Protection Solutions. You can get it at Amazon or anywhere, Barnes & Noble, Walmart, anywhere books are sold. Pretty much you can find it there. You can go to our website, and we wish that you would do that. We'd appreciate it. Let me put that up for you. The website, she has two of them. One is a Celestial Report, that's CELESTIA report.com. And then the other one is ShepherdsHeart.life. So that's Shepherds, ShepherdsHeards, heart.life, LIFE. And then, of course, you can send her an email at celeste@celestialreport.com. And then also, we want to make sure that we share. She is giving us a free gift, and a free gift, you just go to, they're written. So if you're watching, you can freeze the video and you can capture that. But if you can't, what we want you to do is we want you to go to ShepherdsHeart.life. and then go for products and then the free. And now tell us a little bit about this gift, because this gift is pretty awesome that you're sharing with us here today. So tell us a little bit about our free gift that you're giving to us.
So that was developed in 2020 when everybody was being locked up and there was so much confusion about COVID.
Mhm.
And it was a time that people felt really helpless. And, you know, in the spirit, we can overcome. And so it gives you little prayers, whether you did it right, whether you did it wrong in life. You know, we get things right, we get some things wrong, and we learn from it. That's one of the big things I learned at FEMA was, you know, everything's a learning lesson. And so just use this. You can customize it. There are little prayers to help extricate the technology out of your body if it's harming you in any way. Prayers of protection, just all sorts of things. It's 80 pages long, and that's my free gift to all of you.
Well, thank you so
Oh.
much. 80
Celeste,
pages.
we
That's quite a
appreciate
lot.
you.
Yeah, thank
Celeste,
you.
I am curious, is there an alternative to smoke detectors or a type that we could get that does not radiate the radiation, emit
No,
the radiation?
I took this, quite frankly, because cancer's on the uptick right now.
Mhm.
We've noticed that in the last 2 years, huge surges, and it's very aggressive. I took the smoke detectors out of my house. I am more likely to die of cancer these days than have my house catch on fire. Now, some people's house might catch on fire, but if you have to look at how many people their houses catch on fire or how many people get cancer, I think so for me personally, I took my smoke detectors out because I mean, yes, I can eat all those foods, but what if I make a mistake and that's the day that it like seeds into my body and then I have to fight it. And I have fought that battle of cancer once and I don't want to do it again. So,
Yeah. Well, we're so happy you're a cancer survivor. Absolutely.
Yes.
So, well, we want to thank you so much for being on the show here with us today. It's gone by so quickly. Are there any last closing words you'd like to share with our audience?
well, we did talk about food, so hold on just a sec. I
Yeah.
have, if you love to cook and if you are a gardener, I have inspirational homestead recipes. And yes, that's my famous tart that I make. And that has chocolate, lemon pudding, puff pastry, and 5 or 6 different fruits in season. So, and these are all things I teach you how to make popovers and all the basics and fun stuff. And I put little gardening anecdotes and you get to see my beautiful garden and love the passion and the color of your food, the taste of your food, the vegetables and the flowers, the smell, enjoy the pollinators and it gives you exercise. So it's like an exercise program that you're just in love with. So you can also get that at the same place you get the radiation. So if you want to just focus on the nice things, but you know, most foods in my research I found do have radioprotective properties. It's just how much and whether it's at the before, during, or after stage.
Right, right. Now tell us a little bit about the Celestial Report. You say you're founder of the Celestial Report. Share with us about that.
Okay, so that kind of came into being. So I was a secret source for many years to get information out. And the information, because I did end up after environmental medicine, I went into FEMA and Department of Homeland Security and basically needed to, part of my calling is to get information out to you in a very practical way, very simple way, so that you can make wise decisions. And that's how it all started. And it's just blossomed ever since then.
Mm-hmm. And now is it a monthly report, an annual report?
I do, so celestialreport.com is where it's a video subscription service. And for $25, you get a newsletter, and then there on Telegram, I've got a private thing where we talk about news and I share news that you're not going to see anywhere else. I will not touch news that other people are talking about. And then over at ShepherdsHeart.life, I have my products and I write articles. I just wrote we're going through the book of Isaiah, you guys. And but I learned so much. Like this last, yes, it was for my subscribers, but it was so critical for this time and season going into 2024. I said, I have to put it up on my blog. So I did put it up on my blog. And it's talking about the debasing of our currency, the debasing of our food supply, the corruption in government. And, Isaiah was given those words by God to tell to the people. And so I think we're much in that same time as Isaiah lived when he was giving that message to the people. And so it was words that, it touched my heart, and it really, sometimes we need a shaking. We get, we're in the daily grind, and we kind of fall short on our spiritual walk. And it shook me, and I need to put God as my priority. And because that's where I get my shine. That's where I get my energy. And I want to give him the best of the best. And he's the one that he's been so good to me that I want to give my best for him. So that it was a good message, so that you'll get the blog. I answer questions. I have consultations if you have a particular situation that you're dealing with. If it's a really short one, I'll just answer it. But I also have a consultation fee, 15 minutes, half hour, an hour. And then I can actually do like a plan for you or whatever on many different topics. So.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Well, we appreciate you being on the show. We appreciate you doing all these things you do to make this world a better place to live, work, and play. So thank you, Celeste.
Well, I enjoyed it. Thank you for having me on.
And I think my mic was off the entire time. So I do apologize for that. So hopefully you are watching the screen, but I'm going to go over it real quick with you guys. You want to make sure you check out our website. It's celestialreport.com and Shepherds, ShepherdsHeart.life. And then, of course, her email is celeste@celestialreport.com. We also want you guys to check out our book, Electromagnet Radiation Protection Solutions, and you can get that anywhere a book is. And of course, get that free gift. Don't miss out on it. It's ShepherdsHeart.life products, and make sure you get it 80 pages. We don't want you to forget about that. And of course, we want to make sure you protect yourself from radiation. And of course, Celeste knows all about that. So definitely contact her. You guys are listening to goingboldmedia.com, where all the experts go, and we go boldly. Again, you're listening to Link to Experts, Author's Corner, Goodreads, and I am your host, Cece Schatz, along with my good friend, Joanne Weiland. We will catch you next time. Bye for now.